Hello and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Virus Update for Saturday, July 19th, 2025. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy, and testing negative for those viruses. If you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. You just clicked onto the channel that does the daily virus update on all those viruses that can make us sick. There's a lot of viruses out there, and you need to be informed of what's going on with these viruses. That's what I do here on my channel each and every day, whether it be a data-filled update from home or a data-filled update out here in the wild. I keep you safe and informed with the latest news and data of what's going on with all these viruses: COVID, flu, RSV, measles, you name it. I talk about these viruses. Want to stay informed? Subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and of course, leave your comments down below. I promise I will eventually catch up on all these comments. We started catching up on some of them this morning. Already, we do have several things to take a look at here today. We have several news stories. Some things are things that we did not get to yesterday. And we do have some data from CJS. We'll see if we get to everything. I may save some stuff for tomorrow. We'll see how things go. First off, some notes about me. I am away here on vacation now. I am in the state of Maine. I am visiting relatives, so I'm very lucky. I don't have to stay at any public place, where it could be risky for COVID. We drove up yesterday. It was my dad and I drove up. My mom was already up here. It was a very long drive. It took 10 hours. And, it's Friday. Traffic is terrible, but some notes from out in the wild before we move on here. I noticed at one of the rest areas we stopped at. Now, mind you, I was masked. You see, I brought mask with me. Heck, I actually brought a lot of masks. Yeah, look how many I have. That should be enough to last the time that I'm here. And I also monitored the air quality at the rest areas. But I gotta tell you, I rushed in there and rushed out of there as fast as possible. I heard a lot of people coughing. And you're going to see in today's data that the Northeast is not rising a ton in wastewater just yet, but you know what? Between long COVID, allergies, people potentially having COVID, you just don't know when someone has COVID. And well, with the summer surge, starting to rise now, you can't take any chances. So better be safe than sorry. And really, I can't force you to wear a mask, but I think it's still the right thing to do, don't you? It's something I'm not going to stop doing. All right, taking a look at today's news. Starting off with this from X. Sci-Fi says Los Angeles COVID positivity surged by the largest 1 week amount in years. Now, that's pretty surprising because they had a really bad summer last year, but the increase that they saw right now is pretty significant for 1 week. It's now up to 7.5%. Mind you, they went higher last summer, but it's the fact that they increased so quickly. That's the problem. And this is now the highest, it says highest positivity rate since September 8th through the 14th, 2024. And this is as of July 12th. And you can clearly see here on this chart that COVID is on the rise in Los Angeles on these various different charts. So, yes, this is something we're going to have to monitor very closely. Los Angeles is not the only place rising. There are other places that are starting to rise as well now, and this is not good whatsoever. And I do want you to see this over in Japan. Moderna estimates Japan's COVID-19 positive rate is now approaching 30%, nearing the peak of wave 10. And you can see here on this chart, things just continue to rise over in Japan. So, not good to see what's happening there. And then we move on to this. Brazil is now detecting the new variant of COVID, the X variant, and also the XFG.3, which I haven't heard about in too many different countries, but it is showing up over in Brazil at this time. So that is rather interesting. Bear with me here. Some of these web pages that we're looking at news stories, they may be slow loading because I'm a little bit further away from the router here at the moment. A measles case in a child confirmed in Yellowstone County. This is, I believe, Montana. And we can see a measles case has been confirmed by the Yellowstone public health officials say in a child. So yes, measles continues to be a problem there. Measles continues to be a problem in a lot of different places. And of course, this is in Montana. It says NBC Montana, Yellowstone, Montana. Lead on now to this. New York, which again, measles. Measles is a problem in a lot of places right now. New York Department of Health warns of possible measles exposure. at two hospitals, and it looks like Vermonter abroad has been confirmed with the disease. So this is not good whatsoever. And it looks like this is in Saratoga Emergency Department. There was an exposure, and also the Albany Medical Center. Now, I am going to be doing a post tonight just because of how many news stories there are. I am going to be doing a post tonight on the news stories that were used in this update. I'll just keep them on my laptop screen, and the post will be on my website probably at some point this evening, not this afternoon. Hope to get some fishing in today. Can't. Got to get a fishing license first. And, well, the place I wanted to get the fishing license, their computer system's down. I know you buy online. I know. I've done it before. Sometimes I have problems doing it online. I don't know why. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to brave it out, mask it out, of course, and I'm gonna have to get one at Walmart today. Yeah, I don't like going to Walmart. Anywho, and that goes before COVID. Walmart is just a zoo, in my opinion. All right, but no offense to anyone who shops or even works at Walmart. All right, nurseries in England bring in COVID-style protocols as measles cases rise. Staff deploy infection controls and step up cleaning as cases pass 500 for the year to date after one child dies. Remember, a child did die. And while measles cases are a problem over there, it's a problem in the United States, it's a problem in England, it's a problem in most of the UK, it's a problem in Canada. Yeah, measles is a problem in a lot of places around the world right now. But, there's something else that's a problem. Remember, this is the virus update. Now, we're not talking about flu today because I didn't queue anything up here from Australia, which someone may be wondering, why do I constantly keep showing stuff about Australia at this time of year? You want to know why? That kind of is an indicator of what may happen here in the United States later on. Plus, you know what? We do have followers from Australia. I like to include as many countries as possible, and I like to get a sense of what's going on in places all around the world because really we have people that watch from all around the world. Now let's talk about another virus. And I don't know if this is norovirus. It's some sort of a GI virus, a gastrointestinal illness, is aboard the Navigator of the Seas. July 4th trip is not known at this time. Don't know when this trip actually started. I think it may say, yeah, July 4th to July 11th voyage. Sailed from Los Angeles to a few stops in Mexico. But yeah, they're dealing with some problems. This is one of those ships that, just look at this picture here. It's clearly one of those ships that's absolutely huge, can really hold a lot of people. And anytime you get these big ships, COVID or not, before COVID, this was a problem. You get these GI illnesses that just rapidly spread among passengers, and it's up to 140 people. So, yeah, the last time I was on a cruise ship of any type, I was a child, and it was back in the 90s. I think it was 96 or 97. We went 2 years in a row. One was a Carnival Cruise Line, the other one was a Disney cruise when I was a kid. And to be honest with you, and I would even say this 10 years ago, I'm not a fan of going on cruises. I guess for many just different. I guess I have a fear of going on cruises. And I didn't as a kid, but I have developed that. I don't know if it's a phobia. And now that we're in the age of viruses, forget about it. No, thank you whatsoever. I would just not do it. And I think a lot of people would say the same because knowing what we know now, cruise ships can spread quickly. And if you're inside the cabins, if you're someone who was on a cruise ship recently, down below, let me know. How was your experience? And well, I doubt you would know this, but I wonder what the AirNet reading is on some of these cruises, like in the dining area, in the portals, the rooms, the shows, all these different things. I don't know. All right, moving on. We have a lot more things to look at here. Let's take a look at air qualities. If we just load, that's fine because sometimes even on a perfect internet connection at home, I have problems with this taking forever to load. I don't know why that is, but I'll tell you what, we can come back to this. Yeah, it's clearly not loading. The usual problem spots are still problem spots when it comes to air qualities. Taking a look at what's going on with Philadelphia, 897 EMS incidents yesterday. That is a problem. That's almost 900. That's not good. I do not have Pinellas County, Florida, queued up today. Taking a look at what's going on in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. I promise I'll try and get Pinellas County, Florida up maybe on future update, maybe tomorrow. EMS incidents in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, there's 10 of them right now. Taking a look at what is going on in Chester County, Pennsylvania, we do see a sick person call and a few other things at this time. So there are things going on there. Also do not have hospital information, nor do I have Bucks County, Pennsylvania queued up right now. Things are going to be different over the next several days. I'm working off of a laptop that, it has plenty of memory, but it's not like my computer at home, which I'll be honest with you, I have a ton of RAM on. I think I have 32 gigabytes of RAM on that computer. It's really powerful. But let's take a look at what New York State posted yesterday. They posted 447 people tested positive for COVID. And again, that started to go up, but now that's stalled once again. You notice here on this chart, it's actually going down slightly. Yeah, rather interesting. The Northeast as a whole, you're going to see on wastewater, regional waste, it's not doing big rises just yet. Here's what the hospitalizations were yesterday in New York State. 229 people in the hospital and 20 people in the ICU at this time. All right, drum roll, please. We're coming up to the new CDC data now. Take a look at this. This is new. California is high. Nevada, high. COVID and wastewater. Texas is high. Hawaii is high. Louisiana is high. Florida is high. We also see that South Carolina is high at this time. And take a look at this wastewater data here. Yeah, it's going up. It's going up significantly in the south. I'm going to just show you the areas that are going. It's going up significantly in the south. And look at the west. Yeah, big increases there. This is not good. But then we take a look at the northeast, and we can see the northeast is kind of flat at this time, not really rising. The Midwest at this time, kind of flat at this time, not really rising. The Northeast probably rose a little bit more. And then when we take a look at the national level, well, because you have such big rises in the South and the West, the national level, yeah, that's starting to go up, and that increase is starting to go up a little faster. And once we come around to the time where we see the Northeast and Midwest starting to rise, which I got to be honest with you, the roadways were mobbed yesterday. A lot of people out and about. I get it, it was a Friday, but I think the time is coming soon where the Northeast will eventually join what is going on. In other words, I think we're going to see the Northeast and the Midwest rise soon, and there's another big reason for that. Check out the epidemic status map from the CDC. Yeah, wait till you see this. Epidemic growth status is starting to increase. Yeah, look at that. First off, places that were likely growing, still likely growing in California, Alaska. Now we are definitely growing in Hawaii, definitely growing in Texas, likely growing in Oklahoma. We are growing in Arkansas, likely growing in Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina. I'm surprised to see it say not changing in Florida because Florida just continues to get worse, especially in the emergency departments. We are definitely growing now in North Carolina, Virginia, Indiana. We're definitely growing in Kentucky. Indiana's likely growing. Illinois is growing, and we're growing in Iowa now, likely growing in Wisconsin, likely growing in Michigan. Take a look at this. Pennsylvania is growing now. Virginia is growing now. North Carolina is growing. Likely growing in Maryland, likely growing in Delaware, likely growing in New Jersey, likely growing in New York, likely growing in Vermont, and well, where I'm at right now here in the great state of Maine, unfortunately, COVID is likely growing, and I'll be honest with you, I don't plan to be out in public places much. We're mainly going to be here at their camp here on a lake, and I'm going to do some fishing and stuff like that. I'm going to be going swimming. I hope to go swimming this afternoon. Of course, we'll have to make trips to the grocery store, stuff like that. Of course, I'll be masked. Continuing on here now. Emergency department visits. Yes, I have to show you this. This is getting kind of concerning. Take a look here. Emergency department visits continue to grow. Now, I say it's getting concerning. Look at last year. Last year, we were significantly higher than where we are right now, but nonetheless, emergency department visits diagnosed with COVID, they're continuing to grow. They're up to about 0.5%, and I think eventually it will probably get to 1%, and it could definitely surpass at least a winter peak. And should it do that, it's probably going to be in some point in August when that happens. I don't foresee this wave getting as high as last summer, but only time will tell. We have the whole month of August. And then, of course, you may remember last year I talked about this. A lot of people downplayed it. Some did not. But there was back to school. And back to school, kept things going. And then finally in September, we saw the peak last summer. So we'll have to see what happens. I've said this before. I think right now we are following what's going on in 2023. All right, COVID variants in the U.S. That did not update again yesterday from the CDC Nowcast. So I'm actually going to skip over that. I did want to show you the regional views of what's going on when it comes to COVID in the United States. If we can get this to load, let's refresh this. You're going to see here that the South for COVID on wastewater scan is really starting to rise at this time. Yeah, take a look at this green line here. Take a look at the end. It is now rapidly COVID in the South, and a big part of it is because of what is happening in Florida. Florida is not doing good whatsoever at this time. Let's take a look at some of that data now from CJS. I think we're just going to read his Thursday numbers. Does that sound fair? And then we'll read the Friday numbers tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see here. First off, the Thursday numbers. On Thursday alone, Florida reported 1,078 new cases and 8 new deaths, including one from 2024. New York reported 474 new cases. Puerto Rico, a daily number, 653 new cases. Colorado, weekly now, a test case positivity rate of 6%, up from 4.7% last week, and one death reported by the CDC data tracker. Connecticut, weekly number, 194 new cases and 7 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. 475 new cases in Hawaii and 10 new deaths reported. Indiana reports 304 new cases and 3 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. Kentucky, 279 new positive tests and 3 deaths reported. Minnesota reports 314 new cases and 12 new deaths. New Jersey, 581 new cases and 6 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. New Mexico, 186 new cases and 2 new deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. North Carolina, weekly, 257 hospital visits. And North Carolina only just started rising. This is for COVID-like illness. The CDC reports 99 COVID-related hospitalizations in North Carolina and 3 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. You know what? I'm feeling generous today. Let's continue on with his Friday numbers. Florida, daily number on Friday, 1,264 new cases and 13 new deaths reported. Get this, Florida has 7,341 new cases and 46 deaths were reported over the past 7 days. 4 of those 46 deaths were from the past. 4 of those 46 deaths were from past years. To go along with, this is really bad, folks. 806 CDC reported hospitalizations. 20.38% of this week's national COVID hospitalizations count. That's not good. New York, daily numbers. 453 new cases reported yesterday and 2,746 cases reported over the past 7 days to go along with 9 new deaths per CDC provisional count and 208 CDC reported hospitalizations. Puerto Rico, 663 new cases reported yesterday, 3,729 cases reported over the past 7 days to go along with 135 CDC hospitalizations, a decrease from last week, and 14 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. If I'm speaking too fast, we got a comment about this yesterday. I deeply apologize. There's just so much information to get through here. The rest are weekly tallies. Arizona added 914 new cases reported by the state on Wednesday and 4 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. Before we continue on to California, let's pause for a second, shall we? And take that hydration break, which is very important. All right. Doesn't that feel much better? Arizona, 904, or no, we just did Arizona. California, 4,022 new positive tests, a test case positivity rate over the past 7 days of reporting of 6.81%, up from the 6.14% last week. 649 CDC reported hospitalizations, 16.41% of the week's national COVID hospitalization count, and 30 new deaths. Florida and California make up a large percent of the hospitalizations. Georgia, 113 CDC reported hospitalizations and 6 new deaths. Idaho, weekly number, 216 emergency department visits and 2 new deaths. Illinois, a test case positivity rate of 2.6%, unchanged from last week, and 2 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. All right, Louisiana. This is really bad. Yeah, Louisiana's not doing good. 573 emergency department visits, a test case positivity rate of 7.9%, up with a rocket, he says, from 4.4% last week, and 2 new deaths. Mississippi, Ohio, and Tennessee. 5 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker for each of those states. Oklahoma, a test case positivity rate of 5%, up from 4.6% last week, and 3 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. Pennsylvania, 103 CDC reported hospitalizations and 7 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. South Carolina, 6 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. Texas has 1,892 new cases and 430 CDC reported hospitalizations, a huge increase of about 42% from last week. And yes, they added 14 deaths reported by the CDC. Wisconsin reports a test case positivity rate of 3.7%, up from 3% last week. The CDC reports a national test case positivity rate of 4.8%. This is up a bit from 3.1% last week, an increase of about 35% in the national COVID test case positivity rate from what was posted a week ago. 3,955 nationally reported COVID-related hospitalizations, a 10% increase from last week, and the CDC data tracker added 192 deaths since last week and now shows 1,230,131 total deaths since this all started. That's up from 1,229,939 it was showing last week at this time. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's edition of the virus update. I believe we will have a Sunday edition of the virus update. We'll probably look at some wastewater data if we can. It may be slow to load. Wastewater data, whatever news pops up, and maybe just a few other things. It'll probably be a much shorter video tomorrow. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, leave your comments down below, and don't forget to check out my website, datareport.info, and ways to support the channel are listed down below. Hey, enjoy your Saturday, be safe, do everything safe. I'll see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, have a fantastic Saturday afternoon, and thanks for watching.